Yeah.
You'll just have to witness. Get your bloody thing going. Is it going?
Yeah.
Thank God. You have to witness me talking to your mother, trying to communicate with. When I say now, I'm bloody deadly serious. For the sake of all of us. I'm getting the warnings and interpreting them. And that little sacrifice the other day was one sign of what's happening between us. Between us. There's inadequate communication. Now, you're going to have to be fully alert. All of your brain, wonderful, genius brain cells. I try to speak like this, desperately, urgently, from my heart, to try to save our lives. A while ago, months, I think it's turning into years now. It might be 2 years that I went over there to that house across the road and tried to speak to my daughter from my heart. She didn't respond. She just listened in silence. She, like you, was sleeping and I disturbed her fucking rest. Now, she didn't get the message. All her reaction was is that I was being, do you know what the term was? Know all? Yes or no, for Christ's sake? What about an answer? You don't realise what's hanging over us. You don't realise what's threatening us. Intelligence is not enough, Oscar. You've got to have insight. You've got to have the depth. Knowledge can still only be surface. I just tried to speak to your mother to try to save her life, yours, and Winks. He's the next one I'm worrying
That door's going to
about
break
all
eventually.
the time. 24 hours. I go over and disturb Freya's righteous rest. Now, righteousness. Jesus had righteousness. He busted the banks. You don't do that to the banks, dear Yeshua. You don't go along and bust the banks. Otherwise, that will interrupt your program to save everybody. And they will crucify you, just like they've been trying to do to me all my life. What a coincidence. They actually succeeded the first time. Oh God. Talking to corpses is no good. Talking to dumbasses is no good. Talking to my own beloved children full of self-righteousness is no good. Talking to your mother, a money worshipper, is no good. Ian, I think you know too much. Ian, I think you try too hard. They were all right. They were all 100% correct. I've had to listen to that all my life. Auntie Vida gritting her black teeth. Oh, Ian, you're always right, aren't you? And get the mental picture. Auntie Vida. I don't know whether you've even seen a picture of my father's sister. Vida, Mabel, Morris, same name as his, Buring. Only this morning I wrote a draft to Cousin Kylie and I mentioned Cousin Moritz, Edelherr von Buren. His father died early. He must have been one of those cursed to have a short life. His mother must have been a Micoid, a Roman Catholic. She converts little Moritz to be a priest. He has no children to continue on the noble line, so the whole town of Buren in Westfalen, of which he owned, therefore ended up in the hands of the fucking Roman Catholic Church. It's all in the history books. Some of the rallies, maybe his younger brother, I don't know his name, and others ganged up to challenge his will. He owned the town of Buren at the time, and he left it to the Catholic Church. Well, the government bought it, or made a deal with the Catholic Church, so that it became incorporated as part of Germany. Now, Moritz had a Jesuit, probably, education, so he was part of the success of the famous historical Treaty of Westfalen, which was cited, C-I-T-E-D, as by some of our local top political state a-holes as a success of negotiation. You'll see his fatoid image in amongst about 100 other magnates, people of station, in a great painting. He is there, sitting in the front row. Cousin Moritz. How similar are you to Freya? Now virtually totally alienated from me, because I went over there and tearfully and like this, pleadingly, from the heart, tried to communicate with her. Well, I was speaking from the heart, but she was not listening from the heart, because her brain was deafened by your mother's toxic, alcoholic vomit. Her ears were stuffed up, and because her ears were stuffed up, so was her brain. So now she talks to me as being overbearing, because I come and barge in here and wake you up from your sleep, the same as I woke her up from her sleep, for which she has never forgiven me. The fact that I was trying desperately to communicate with her and save her life, the same as I'm trying to do with you and your mother and Wink now, but see, Ian, you try too hard. See, I'm speaking from the heart. Why can't you understand me from the heart? Or are you? Or are you that far gone? I don't know. I mean, if you are that far gone, well then, I just about give up hope. Wink has already been being in the process of taken away from us. Now, if you become another mindset with your mother, and Wink is gone, then we are lost, and you are lost, and Wink can bugger off. I mean, there's a bit of money at the background there that you'll get, but that's not going to save you. It is knowledge alone, which I've had all my life, and I have not been able to share it adequately in order to achieve my dream of being able to create an institution built around my family. Your mother, you, Wink, and your sister. But I cannot make that, I cannot build that, I cannot sustain that, I cannot save it if I can't. If you're my last hope. I've given up hope with being able to communicate with your mother. My last hope has been able to communicate with you. And if you let me down, good. Don't miss out any word at all, please. If you let me down, you let your mother down, you let Wink down, you let your sister down, and above all, you let you down. Because I've burst in here, well, what was Freya's, being overbearing. That was her miserable, mean-minded, scummy, gangsteroid, same mentality as her regular fuck over there. Gangster, slimeball, coward, gangster, builder boy, whatever his name is, Tom. I mean, I've already made an enemy of him. I've nothing to lose. But he is. See, she says to me over the phone, I'll never be part of your family. No, you bloody won't. Because you're not. Because you can't be. Because you're an initiated gangster and one of John Setker's gang. Now, I'm just wasting my energy and wasting my efforts at all. And if I think I'm wasting my efforts, I'm divorcing your mother and bloody selling up that place across the road to begin with, and then this place. Because I might as well give up hope and sign out early while I'm beaten. If you don't give me any hope. Because I'll have nothing to build on. I can't do this alone, any more than Jesus could. I keep on comparing myself to Jesus, and why not? He tried to save his fellow human beings. I'm trying to save my fellow human beings, starting with my family. Do you think, can I get a sensible answer from you, genius, El Braino? Am I wasting my time with you? I feel like shaking you, but I don't want to waste my energy, and I don't want you to be frightened and think I'm being too overbearing, like your sister did. And she's lost to you, she's lost to Wink, she's lost to your mother, she's lost to herself. Because with types like that, she does not belong there. She may have her child, is the worst possible news at the moment that I could get, and she'll use him as a sperm donor. Then she'll dump him like so many other stupid, unimaginative women. When I say unimaginative, they're unimaginative compared to me. I'm the person with vision. But if you don't have enough vision, but you see the trouble is with vision, you have to have vision in order to be able to see, recognise someone else with vision. Now, I envisaged creating an institution as part of an extension of myself, basically, of my higher self, whose mission has always been to try to save my fellow man. A mission, that's why I compare myself to Jesus, you see. I mean, I'm not the only one to compare myself to Jesus. I'm not going around, oh shit, I hope you're not losing anything of this, because you. Thank you, Oscar. Get the full treatment. Oh shit. No, I'll go back here. Oh, you might play this. What a pity. We should have we should have a movie camera already set up. If you just think that I'm a raving egotist, well then you're doomed to remember me and play these back in another few years from your cell. I mean, this is your cell at the moment. You've got dirt or dust in your ears. It's in the atmosphere. Everybody's been choked out with dust. It's like a cloud of dust, dirt, physical, mental, and spiritual dust. Am I sure? Don't miss a word, Oscar. I can't do this alone. Jesus couldn't do it alone. I keep comparing myself to him. Well, it's a good example. I mean, he had the best of intentions, and he also had vision, but he couldn't see when he was beaten. Well, I am seeing maybe myself being beaten by gradual degrees, and by the alienation of all the members of my family. Your mother is an automatic loner because she's an autistic person. She was born an autistic person. She's given up on me. She just sees me as well, God knows what, just a nuisance, surplus to requirements at this stage. Oscar, I don't want to waste any more. I've wasted so much of my energy trying to communicate with other people, and all I've got from them is, Ian, you try too hard, and Ian, you. Oh, that's right, Ian, you know too much. How can you fucking know too much? Oh, Auntie Vita. Oh, Ian, you always know better, don't you? She said that to me in 1940 2. I was in grade 3. Well, Auntie Vida, you on your deathbed who bemoaned to witness my first wife, Laura, she always tells a gruesome story very well indeed. She who wants me to come to her deathbed side and listen to her or to her thanking me. I'm sorry, Laura, I'm busy. I lost you, I couldn't save you. I was entrapped by you and your friend, the great beast. The human beings that worship money and ego, like I don't. And so now you want to thank me. Oh, well, bugger you. I bought you off, I paid you off in 1970, so I don't owe you shit. You alienated, you gloated, you said, well, at least getting rid of you now means that the children are too old to remember you. Well, what bloody good does that do to you, Laura? What bloody hell does that do any good to the children? To forget me, not know me. You getting the picture, Oscar? You're not talking to me, Oscar. Are you receiving? Are you there? Are you comprehending? Do you have any comprehension of what I'm saying? I'm trying to speak to you from my heart. Has yours been crushed out like your mother's? Or don't you know? You're not. Well, you're my last hope. And if I've got to give up on you, well then all of this is lost. It's lost to the ego and money worshippers. And who are those who think that I am the fool and that I deserve to be cancelled out or crucified. Same thing. Crucified. I need to be crucified figuratively or literally, or it doesn't. Or you're not responding, Oscar. Do you have any understanding of what I'm saying, Oscar? I needed to speak to you urgently. And so I burst in here and poured my heart out. And you have not responded or you have not heard. And getting a machine to record my, if you like, performance is not good enough. But well, I don't know that it's going to achieve anything. If you play it back in another 5 years or 10 years, maybe I won't be here. Maybe I won't be on Earth. Maybe I'll have gone. But in another 5 years, I don't see what right you've got to be here or there. Have you got any understanding of what I'm saying, Oscar? I'm not getting a response from you. So it means that I've got to give up on you and your mother, and I've got to tell Wenk accordingly. Is that right? When I say to you, I'm not just looking for ego gratification, I'm looking for strategic encouragement. Strategic. I mean, everything is strategic. I mean, you've got to look where you're walking. You've got to be careful where you're walking in this life, Oscar. Do you get my fullest meaning as I intend. If you don't look where you're looking, or if you can't see because it's dark where you're walking, the results could be most unfortunate. Are you getting my message now, Oscar? Have you learned anything, Oscar? You're not responding. Don't you want to record yourself responding? The fact that you're recording it matters not really much at all, because you could lose that, it could be stolen. God, I mean, anything could be stolen. I've had so much stolen here. I tried to make a record of everything. It's impossible. You can't record what you're doing all the time in total war. You just do what you think is best for the result that you believe in. And if you don't believe in anything, if you don't believe in yourself, Oscar, well, you become a nihilist. A bit like your mother, really. You just live on the path of least resistance, which is the path of the coward. I proved myself not to be a coward. I had nowhere to live for 4 weeks. I'd sold the house. I'd given up on Laura. I'd given up as lost, as Laura as a lost cause. I knew she'd take the children. I couldn't stop them because the great beast is in charge. The great beast is the government at the moment. Ego and money worship is the government. I was grabbed by one of those mad Christians. She thinks she's Christian. Yesterday, grabbed physically, and every time she touched me, I winced. I jumped. So she just grabbed my and she tried to pray for me. She was one of these revivalists. One of these. She calls herself a Christian. Well, okay, I wouldn't deny her that. That was what today, Sunday. That was yesterday. That was. So I'm just working on a lost cause here. If I can't get some sort of communication with you, I've got to communicate with you when I see it as necessary. I'm following my heart, not my ego. Now, if you think I'm just motivated by ego, which is what your mother believes, because she doesn't know any better either, well then you're my last hope. But once Wink is taken from us, well, for all I know, he may be taken from this earth, from us permanently for all time. Because I'm just trying to read the signs, and my loved ones, and those that I have loved, are gradually being just taken away from me. Just not grabbed. There's nothing sudden. There's nothing. There's no policeman arrived. No, they're just taken away by invisible hands. In the same way as my darling Punky, my daughter Freya, was taken away from me. I have done nothing to hurt her, nothing against her at all, but she hates me. But largely due to your mother's poison, because your mother has been heartbroken, poisoned, and so she vomits poison, excretes poison. She's poisoned Freya. She hasn't poisoned Wink. But then again, he's going to be taken out of the picture apparently by the forces of darkness which are descending upon us all now. Well, by your behaviour now, it looks, the signs are that they haven't taken you completely away, because you're still listening, but that of itself doesn't give me any hope. The fact that you're recording it doesn't give me any hope. because it does not ensure that you are waking up enough. Because I can't do this alone, without somebody else. Your mother's a lost cause, Freya's a lost cause. I can still communicate with Christopher, but by and large, working with him, he's a lost cause. He's still doing research on the family, but the family's largely a lost cause, because there's one of the cousins there. That's a long story, called Anne. She thinks I'm shit, and whenever my name is mentioned, she shits on it, because her mother rang my father's family phone number, and I'm pretty sure she must have spoken to Uncle Franz. He was an asshole. And he was here to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, cousin, whatever your name is, I can't help you. My father's, grandpa's are gone. Uncle Franz was an asshole. He never married, thank God. He shat on me. He gave me a cake of Lifebuoy soap. You are in? Have a cake of Lifebuoy. Do you want to have a bath?" Oh, his satisfaction was just insulting people. He was an asshole. His own foreman in his own engineering works broke his jaw at one stage. I don't know when or what date it was, but I mean, say he could have done better. He could have done worse than just break Uncle Francis' jaw. But the fact that he broke his jaw is a good symbol. Well, shut your bloody mouth, insulting, offensive arsehole. He was gratuitously offensive, and that was his hobby. Franz Morris Buring, my father's brother. He bullied me the same as his sister, Auntie Vida. "Oh, Ian, you always know better, don't you?" Well, Auntie Vida and Uncle Franz, yes. In grade 3, when I was aged 9, 10, I did know better then, and I do fucking know better now. And the fact that I'm talking to my own flesh and blood family doesn't mean shit if you're too bloody fucking stupid and dumb not to appreciate what I'm saying. Whether I'm aged 10 or 11, as I was at the time in 1941, or 19 bloody whatever it is now, 1920, 2024. Yes, Auntie Vida and Uncle Franz and Oscar, I do know better. But if you can't see it, well, we're lost, your mother's lost, everybody's lost, except that I'm all alone again, as I was in 1970, 71. Had nowhere to go, all alone. My girlfriend at the time abandoned me. Dana Lorraine. She already had a husband, but he was a communist and he wasn't good enough. So she accepted me as a boyfriend, and we worked together. We had a working relationship for about 10 years nearly, before she, before I came up here, and then it was just too much to stay connected. She shared the little hut, my real house that I built, first one, for a while. Am I boring you, Oscar? Has anything I've said registered or been significant or worthwhile to you? Otherwise, if not, I mean, I won't necessarily accept your silence as disagreement or non-compliance or being too stupid or too tired to register what I'm saying. But I've spent so much energy trying to communicate with others, friends,
family, and they mostly have not understood. Even my darling mother didn't understand me, but she never let me down. That's why I call her God. She never betrayed me. She was pure love, something that you would not have been trained to recognise. And if I'm not going to get an answer from you, it looks as though I have to give up on you too, doesn't it? Is that right, Oscar? Oscar. What's your number? How do I connect? What's your do souls have do souls have phone numbers, Oscar? You're a technician. You ought to know. You're the engineer. I don't think that you're much of a visionary though. So I'm still the visionary. Well, Uncle Franz was an engineer and he was an arsehole too. Like you're in the process of becoming. If I don't get an answer, Oscar, it means that we here and all of our pets that we've still got left are lost. Have I gotten through to you at all, in any way, shape or form? Well, I'll have to let you work that out. But the sooner you can communicate with me, the better. Because we, if there is a we left, are losing the game. The game being life, of course, in cosmic terms. In the Creator's terms, the cosmic terms, God, or whoever made reality, according to Shankaracharya, this is all illusion. So everything's futile. Well, I can't quite believe that. Otherwise, the question is, otherwise, why are we here? Well, Shankaracharya said, but we are not. We don't think we are. Well, that's the next thing to being a nihilist, and a nihilist just believes in zero, nothing. Well, I can't quite do that. So the sooner I can hear from you, the better, because then I'll go on working for us. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my time. And I don't believe in that. So if you're one of them, the nihilists, well, and I've lost you. Just like I've lost Freya. You haven't seen her for 8 months, you said. Well, I've seen her since then, and on 2 occasions at least. And on both occasions, I've got a sour, sad expression from her, my little punky. Well, Wink is still talking to me, but I'm fearing for him. I think that he's going to be taken away. So, I need support, backup here. I need a witness. I need you as a witness to me trying to communicate with your mother. And she's just walking off doing her own thing. She's washed her hands of me. Well, she still makes food, but otherwise she's not with me. And if I've lost you, and Wink's gone, well, there's no one else, and I can't do it alone.
Sanitize my hand. Gotta sanitize this. I'm just trying to sit here peacefully. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to meditate. I'm documenting my silence because the so-called sacrifice that he's talking about. I stepped on Boyzey. My coming back. A bird. We had sweetest bird I've ever seen. Sweetest bird I've ever known. That was a true angel. Boyzey. It was on the 14th of May 2024 at about 9:45 at night. I had Boyzey in my left hand, Levy in my right hand. I was trying to get Boyzey to perform for Levy. He fell off my hand. He went flying into the lounge room. I went chasing after him. I tried to catch him mid-air, but he hit the glass on the wall and fell to the floor. He was dazed, and it was dimly lit, and I crushed him with my foot as he was flapping about. I stepped on him, and he died in about 1 or 2 minutes. His blood was coming from his ear. Picked up his body, put it in a box, and buried it out the back. According to Wink, my face went grey, and I said my life is over. Realistically, I don't suppose it really is, but that's what it felt like in that moment. Now, dealing with this shit, on top of that, I mean, it's like nothing. It's like him being here doing all this shit. It's just, it is what it is. It's just excess. But it's not like this doesn't stress me out. And that door's gonna break eventually. He says he's not serving his own ego, but he's the one getting annoyed at Mum. Isn't that an egotistical thing? Like, he's getting annoyed at her. And the other day he said to Mum, "You're autistic and I'm not." Which is fucked, because he's just as autistic as anyone else. He has to be. And clinically, I mean, not in his opinion, of course. I need to sanitize my hand. I need to sanitize. I love Boyzey, and I hope he forgives me to come back. I hope I see him again. I just hope Boyzey forgives me. Because if he doesn't forgive me, then I can't forgive myself.
That's your judgment again, you see? You're so egotistical that you think your judgment has to be right. Yes, it has to be right. Now I'll go somewhere else. You don't even know the name of your grandchildren. Fuck, what a loser. I have no idea. Oh, you have a chemical goodness. You've got tape recordings. You've got cameras. Mr. Spy. Security spy. No, I do not. Always was the end of everything here. It was the end of everything here before you even started. This is the continuation of that's the end of everything here. Oh, that's the end of everything here, Laura. Oh, okay, I'm going to start up another. That's the end of everything here. I'm good at this. I can say a really cool game. Oh, that's the end of this then. That's the end of that then.
Over an hour cut for time, about an hour and 12 minutes cut. Time. 1 hour and 20 fucking minutes. Help me. You lecturing me in the room for an hour and 20 fucking minutes. I'm a maniac. And so you.
Yeah, I know.
You're the A-team of histrionics.
What?
You're the A-team of histrionics.
18.
You are the A-team of histrionics.
I'm also the 18 of getting work done too. So what?
I'm saying you and him are an A-team of histrionics.
Well,
great team.
He's got a great team doing work done, that's just very sure. There's no team there. Oh, it doesn't fucking stop me. What's up?
Yeah.
What's me?
Yeah.
The great beast, the feeling.
Huh?
I've just tried to talk sense with your mother. And she is just accusing me of being egotistical. And that is exactly how I see her.
Yep.
Well, you see, I'm not the money. I mean, I've passed all the tests. Because if I was to my satisfaction, but then again, I mean, if I've got to convince anybody else, well, it means eliminating you lot apparently, apart from Wink. Wink still believes in me, and your mother's, well, apparently totally lost faith in me, as she's just indicated. I wish that you'd recorded what she had said, because that's the first time she's ever said that I'm just pure egotist. I'm just purely acting out of egotism. Well, I've already proved to my own satisfaction that I haven't. But you see, I didn't prove to your mother's satisfaction or to yours back in 1971. And I've just got to repeat myself again and let you lot go to hell and sacrifice my own family, all in the name of egotism. Because if your mother's going to see me as acting egotistically, well, she's going to convince you, try to convince you of the same. I haven't heard that argument before, and I have not directly, outright accused your mother of just acting out of egoism and money worship. I've already proved myself as not being a money worshipper and not being an egotist and not just looking after number one. Because I was totally without a friend in the world, really. Even my girlfriend at the time called, well, I'll call her Lorraine. I mean, it's a key word. I'll refer to her as Lorraine. That was her middle name. The name at the time that I called her was Dano. But Lorraine is I mean, it's more fitting in the context. Now the thing is, if you're just going to believe, as your mother believes, that I'm acting out of egoism, well then I'm just going to go ahead and sell up to move to the trouble is, once you initiate some of these proceedings, you can't go back. I've been told that. So if I initiated proceedings to sell up this place, for example, I may not be able to cancel out the proceedings. And it's the same thing across the road. I'm not getting any help or advice from a lawyer, even though I think that, as I told you in my last email, I've written so many great emails trying to solve my problem. It's a cosmic problem. I wouldn't expect a lawyer to understand that. So I've given up trying to get in. And I'm not getting any response to you. I mean, I'm not saying that. Yeah, good. You see, I tried to make an emergency phone call to your mother in the last hour, and I didn't succeed because of this new system. I can't even follow that properly. I can't even use the phone for an emergency now anymore. because of this. I don't know. You know this news. You've got to do a circle to form. I've got no head for numbers. So I mean, and if your mother thinks I'm an egotist, well, the only way I can prove it is to go off this place and that place, and you lot all get a buggery. Well, and what will you do? You will, because that's where your mother has wanted to be. She just said, you probably have it got it on tape. You can't get it all on tape. I mean, you miss the most relevant bits. The most relevant bits, she's told me in whispers, and there's been no one around, none of you lot. She said, I wasn't born to go anywhere or do anything, or to be here. That's how much faith she's got in herself. Now, that's a clue as to where she is, because I've never considered that I was never meant to be born. I've always had a sense of mission. Always. And to make the extent that I've just put my faith in faith. I can't describe it. Whatever you must put your faith in, faith. Call God faith. That's a good faith, Father. Good faith. I'll call him, her. I say my mother's God. I'll call him faith. But at a certain stage in 1970 or 71, one of those two years, I signed up to sell off the house. I had nowhere else to go. You've heard the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to save my energy now, what I've got left of it. Otherwise, I will be devoured by the great beast. Now, what the great beast is, it's the collective machinery of all of human egoism. It's the total embodiment of human egoism. I wasn't able to pay the mortgage of the house on number 39, 11th. So I thought, well, I might as well give up, but instead of having the place repossessed. I had very little time to make this decision. So I made the decision to sell the place up. Well, that way, Laura claimed what was left of the sale of the house after the bank took their lot. Now, I had nowhere to go. The only friend, metaphorically, that I had in the world was the Chevy Ute. So I used that, as I've told you. I don't have to repeat the story. Do you remember the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't need to repeat it. You've just got to get it. I've got to try to get you to get it in context, because all these little stories separately just don't add up to much unless you can add them up.
Yeah.
And life is a jigsaw to a certain extent. Now, everything I am an enemy of egoism. I study egoism. Egoism is the great beast. Egoism plus education, plus money worship. Your mother worships money. Education is a manifestation of egoism. I just bought today's the paper, and it was talking about protecting the children from social media. Whether you worship ego and the currency of other cars, but she didn't at the time of our marriage. She accepted her fate and she was going nowhere. Well, then why did she propose to me? Was it to take me to nowhere with her? Because that is that is the habit of an egoist. You believe in nothing. the believer in falsehood, the believer in well, the innocent, as I said. I'll never be able to believe in nothing. So, if I'm faced with nothing, and you see, I'm being used by egoists, by egotists, who do believe in money. Well, if I'm here working for them, I'm just working for egoism, whether I asked or not, and I'm not willing to do that. I want the ultimate reality. So if the ultimate reality is that I'm serving no good purpose here or across the road, I might as well bust up the whole thing and give you a present of $150,000. Is that the amount? So I give Freya, money worshipper, alcoholic, ally, disciple of your mother, I give her $150,000. Okay, Freya, there you are. That's what you want. I give Wink that. I give each one of us 5 who has equity in the property across the road, 150,000. So I lose all my life's work here because I can't take anything with me. Beautiful treasures that you've never even seen. Even your mother hasn't seen them all. She's seen some of them. She has tried to get Freya to just steal some of them and sell them up. They're family heirlooms. I'm a sentimentalist. Well, okay, they're just gold watch, I think, unless she's already sold it. God knows what your mother's stolen from my hoard of treasures. She says I'm a hoarder. Well, she's a bigger hoarder than I am, really, when it comes to the crunch. Because I have not hoarded stuff just for the sake of hoarding. I've gathered all this stuff to use as tools to establish my foundation. See, the irony is that Bill, your grandfather, wanted to pass on, leaving a beneficent foundation for humankind. I won't use humanity because that's what the servants of the unconscionable servants of Satan use. You see, but they use the word, which is the American term for humankind. He formed a foundation. But his accountant got in first, and now they are giving out $10,000 to college kids and any child with enough of an education for what it's worth, being organised by Satan anyway. $10,000 to go and fritter it away on well it served their purpose, but it's just giving it away indiscriminately upon the judgment of this fucking accountant and Bill's fucking lawyer. An accountant and a lawyer know what the true values of life are and the purposes. The great judges, oh what? I don't think so. The irony is that he did mention that the idea of a foundation 32 years ago. He said this to me at the time that I had a couple of chats with him. One when he visited here, and the other chat when I visited Melbourne. And he suggested the idea of they were hints to me, which I never took up at the time. I was distracted trying to run keep a family safe from the great beast, which has been dominating all along. It was the William and Catherine Rudd Beneficent Foundation or something like that, which was the name that he mentioned to me. Well, in the event it turned out that that's not the name of it, but he's honouring his grandfather's name, William, what was his name, Rudd? No, it wasn't Rudd, it was something else. What was his name? Your ancestor? No, it wasn't. No. Interesting. Rudd was the Theosophist, which was your mother's grandmother's husband. That's where the name Rudd came from. So the original founder of the money bag was Cole. What's his first name?
Edward.
So, and he died a sad, sick and sorry old man. Sad and sick because he married a lunatic woman, and I think, well, lunacy is very closely allied to genius anyway. As is well known. But that just causes me to sort of give up any hope. There's nothing to, but your mother's turned into an enemy, Freya, and if you have finally at last, well, I might as well give up because, as I say, I can't survive. I was getting back, I think I interrupted myself. Have I not told you the story? How I just jumped in the car and just drove around in place? And finally I came down to this little cottage in 45, 50 kilometres away down at Belvedere. Belvedere is it's a word that means bell beauty, Vedere, video. Well, it means beautiful place. It's a bit of a desolation, really, but how it got the name Belvedere, I don't know. But it was a beautiful place for me. I bought this little cottage. I did a painting of it, but I've given the painting to one of my daughters. Sunset. I don't know whether she's kept it or whether she's chucked it or junked it. But I had to give it to someone that I thought would keep it. Well, so I think I gave it to her. Christopher's got a few relics from the family, which he got from Grandma Buring's estate, Auntie Vida, and Uncle Franz. But both were horrible people, and both were cultivated by Laura. Well, that's why it's a waste of my time even going along to satisfy her ego with being able to thank me. Oh, bugger that. I mean, I paid her off in 1950 in her own terms, so then I wanted to get on with what I thought was going to be my own life. But well, you haven't given me an answer yet because really you haven't made up your mind. You're still cogitating. You're still trying to work out the mystery. Am I genuinely worthy of your support in your terms, so far as you know and what you know now? Well, see, I'm dependent now upon your own, the degree of your own spiritual development as a retard, sociologically. You don't know people. You don't know the full story of your mother, and you haven't had as much contact with her background and family as I have done. I'm just saying that I think that I'm more qualified to make an assessment of where your mother's coming from. But she only became this money-worshipping egotist when, as she said, now that I've got the money from Dad, I can put you in your place. Oh dear me. Nobody's ever been able to put me in my place, ever. So I don't see why I should still allow myself to be compromised by a person who thinks that, which is your mother. So I'm submitting to her judgment because I gave her this place 32 years ago, 1 or 2 years, about a year before Freya was born, in good faith. That's the only way that I've perceived it, because I've had faith in my mission. That's not egoism, because I had to sacrifice myself to be able to maintain that vision. I did that. That's what I did in 1970. I just submitted myself to God's favour. Whether you believe in God or not, or God or Mrs. Fate. I'll call God Mrs. Fate. Doesn't matter what you call him, her or it. I put my faith in Mrs. Fate. I drove around, spoke to the local land agent, just South Alban. I started, and he got anywhere to live around here. You know, we might have a little place over here. Showed me that. And I said, oh, how much? Well, what I meant was rental, because it was a bit of a abandoned dump. It had been abandoned several times, and this was before the land burn. Well, I was guided to there before the land boomed, before people started to move out from the suburbs. That's why. I said, oh, how much? He said, oh, I'd offer them 200. And I said, oh, you mean as a purchase? He said, yeah. I said, oh, I think I might be able to rustle that up, which I did. Well, I sold that, and I reaped about $6 or $7,500 in 1976. I bought the place in my sister's name, but that's right. She allowed me to do that. She never lost faith in me, my darling sister. Married a bank manager. Well, if she'd never married a bank manager, I don't think she would have got fatal cancer. But she did. She just had 2 daughters, and I've met both of them. Susan is not a very nice person at all. She never smiled when we had that cup of coffee at in Druids Avenue. But Katie was, and she was very proud to show me her 2 or 3 boys, big, handsome-looking blokes, all of them sons of the millionaire builder husband that she married. He lives, I said, where are you living? He said, oh, well, it turns out that she lives just about within 3 or 4 kilometres away. Like so many money bags do up in the hills. But if all my family that I have through your mother have lost faith in me, well, I've got to just give up trying to do anything with you at all. I've had to give up in prayer and drink. I think something horrible is going to happen. But by marrying this girl, or if it doesn't, I'm still frightened for his sake because of the signs that I'm seeing. I've always seen more than others, and others have commented. I think you know too much. How can you fucking know too much? Or I think you think too much. I think you try too hard. Well, that's their friends. At least they've had some intelligence to observe a little bit of the truth about me. Well, even if they weren't even members of my family, to have their minds turned against me by my family. I mean, If someone had asked members of my family what they think of me, oh, he's a shit, he's a... Uncle Franz didn't like me, but he was a mongrel. He was a wash-up. Auntie really didn't like me, but she was a wash-up. She wept on her deathbed and said, I never had the love of a man. That was I had wept over that, even though I thought she was a dreadful person, and she used to abuse me, she used to bully me. But Laura was the reteller of that. See, Laura used to tell the most wonderful, gruesome stories. That's the sort of person she was. As a daughter of the manse. There's a phrase, son of the manse. And the reverend is always supposed to be a very holy man, and his son, the son of the manse, is always tended to be a tearaway or a rebel of some sort, having a Christian minister as his father. the irony and the truth of it is complete. So the son of the manse is a tearaway and a rebel because he's revolting against his father's hypocrisy as a minister for Jesus. Well, it's not been Christianity at all. It's been the best form of the most developed form of Satanism possible, because it was the Satanists who won out in the end. Judas was the most representative of his disciples. They say later on that Judas suicided, and also they say that the governor of Judea, who made the final decision to crucify Jesus, it said that he, after his retirement, I've told you the story, he retired to a place in France. Have I not told you?
No.
Well, the story, it's probably true, because like so many other stories can be true, but they aren't all perpetrated. But there is a legend in the south of France that the Pontius Pilate, governor, manager of Judea for Rome at the time, who ordered made the final decision to crucify Jesus. It was there's a rumour that he retired to this place in the south of France and suicided in a local lake, and that he still haunts its embankments to this day. Well, as to what degree he haunts the banks of that lake is just legend or imagination or true. I mean, the point is that the imagination is as true as ever any truth can be, anyway. So I'm at the end of my tether. So I'm just about to give up wasting my time, because I've worked to try to be part of the human solution basically all of my life, ever since 1971, when I had ridiculous, of course, visions that I was going to be Jesus Christ Mark II. I mean, who the fucking hell would want to be Jesus Christ Mark II? Because, as I've said, tediously, repeatedly, every time I've cracked that joke, well, the job itself had very poor future prospects, being Jesus Christ Mark II, in consideration of what happened to Jesus Christ Mark I, because the same forces in the world are still predominant. So that's the two families I've lost, two wives I've lost. The second wife, she's just projecting. She's subconsciously. It's amazing with Jenny that I've found that how she projects. She was born schizophrenic, born brain damaged, schizophrenic, and she calls me an egotist. Well, that's what I thought she was. But an egotist is also a money worshipper as well. So okay, so I'll sell both properties up, and it's just unimaginable to me at the moment. But I'll just have to do it, work towards it, because I'm wasting my time, and I've never, even if I've only got five years left, I don't want to waste it. I never have wanted to waste time.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasted my time with you. Maybe I'm not prejudicing your situation or your judgment, but it means that you're the only prospect you've got is to live in your mother's house and to be her chauffeur, her permanent chauffeur, which is the story of her grandmother. She married this Mr. Rudd. He was for a while. He was a theosophist like me. Have you seen photographs of him?
I don't know.
No. No. But he was a key figure. So he married Mrs. Rudd, your mother's grandmother, your mother's father's mother, who was an egomaniac. She sat on the fortune that she inherited from her grandfather. Bill did tell me how as he put it, how he got the Vickies, and I think it was just the way the family split up. None of the family wanted to take over the coal book arcade, and he died a sick, sad, sorry old man. One of his sons caught due to diphtheria. And his wife might have been a sneak thief, but he should have a book. Every time she was put as manager, but she was probably chronic thief. She was probably the daughter of a chronic thief who was shipped off to prison because he was a thief. For the best.
Yeah.
So how it's obvious. In my case, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're recording, you think, well, thank God, at least you've got some record of what I've got to say. For what it's worth, and if you appreciate my words, too late.
Mm-hmm.
But to say, oh, Ian was right after all. Well, I don't. That means shit to me. Because it doesn't want to be right afterwards to appreciate it too late. I want it to be appreciated now, but not for my sake alone. I've tried to be a true father. I tried to look after my first wife, but my first wife was a money worshipper. Well, as it happens, the same as my second one turned out to be, as revealed. But Jenny, being a schizo, a true genuine schizo case, she genuinely, I know, was not a money worshipper until that shock that there was also disabled you, being kidnapped by the servants of the great beast. Social workers are actually not saviors. They are demons. They are demonic. Their work is demonic. It's similar to the police force. There's more charity, I think, in the police force today than the social workers. I remember two other social workers. One was John Rainsbury, one of the activists at the Down to Earth, and the other one was John Braston, who visited here last about 20
25 years ago, and because I got cross with Jenny in front of him there, he said, don't talk like that to Jenny. Well, shit, a fucking brick. He didn't even keep a wife. What fucking business was it of his, how I spoke to Jenny?
Mm.
So I've never seen him sing. Well, I have seen him sing. I've seen him at the demos. They're called demonstrations outside Parliament House.
Mm.
With these so-called alternative, what do they call it? Freedom lovers. Freedom. Well, that reminds me of the joke of the communist comrade coming up to what's his name, Vladimir Lenin. He had an opportunity to have a whisper with him. Lenin was the first dictator of Russia, Lenin. And he comes up and says, Tovarich, I think it's Russian for comrade, Tovarich, the people von freedom. And it's a joke. And Lenin, just might look at the bloke that was talking to him, just so that he'd remember his face, to have him assassinated when he wanted to. And then he looks ahead, and he responds. He said, "Freedom to do what?" Well, it's a bloody good question. Freedom to do what? It's perfectly valid. The man was a monster. I've seen a photograph of him as he in a wheelchair after he had a stroke. He was just staring. He couldn't even speak. He was a total monster. And then he was followed up by another total monster, Joseph Stalin. He lost a son, an air pilot in World War II against Hitler. But I think one son survived. Well, I don't know what. I don't think we've done much good with you, Oscar, and you haven't given me much to hope for. I don't. You've got to be true to yourself, but you can be true to yourself too late too. I'm going nowhere. I'm just wasting time. But with your mother, she's lost faith in me. Oh, but she never had faith in herself. As I said, her story is that she believed that she was born to go nowhere. And I think after the money came in and the great beast embraced her again, and she accepted the embrace of the great beast. So she worships. Well, she worships money, but I mean, money and ego just go together like hand and glove. So I don't know. I never believed in wasting my life or wasting my breath. I've got nothing else to gain. Everything I've tried to build up was towards a benevolent institution, which Bill Rudd. I'd have been quite happy to call it the William and Catherine Rudd Life Improvement Foundation or whatever. But the irony, you can see the irony, I'm sure, in his wanting a memorial foundation, and here's me wanting to build a foundation and accumulating all this stuff as a library for the foundation. But his accountant. But I never tried to cultivate Bill. I never tried to sell him. I never tried to sell myself to him. But it would have been very different if we'd been living in the same city, I think. But it wasn't to be. I mean, they wanted Jenny to be over here because she was getting the wrong company, and her boyfriend was a bloody criminal, just about to be put in jail for car stealing. Jenny was about to be involved, so they shunted her over here and bought a house for her to keep her here. And Jenny says to me, "Would you come and help me live in the house?" Oh, okay. Which I did. So it looks as though I'm running out of time, energy, life, and that was never my intention. My intention from the age of 7 in Clare, up in the Mid North, 90 miles away from Adelaide. It took 2 hours to get there. The first hour was spent in the train or whatever at Riverton, which had where you could have a cup of tea, and Riverton. Yes, Grandpa got his second posting. When my mother was living at Kilkenny, living at Mile End, Grandpa was station master of Kilkenny, a neighbouring suburb. When my and then my father, my grandpa, got a posting at Clare, but because my mother split up with my father in when the war started, 1939. Split up with him for the first time, and Auntie Vida drove Grandma Bury up to Clare to plead with my mother to reunite with my father in 1941. I lived up at Clare with my darling sister. It was stormy weather in November, and she and I shared a wash tub on the veranda of this gentleman's residence that was the station master's house. 1941. I was set back in grade 2. I failed grade 2, Oscar. That was one of my greatest achievements. I was set back in. That's what the Great Beast did with me. I was set back in at Clare Primary School in grade 2. I failed grade 2. That was a great part of my scholastic career. It was symbolic, indicative. And my first bully was a boy called Dennis Wilton. He'd be long gone. He was brain damaged, like your mother. Hello, Ian. And I heard about God and Jesus at the Presbyterian Sunday School. And then I got the message, I'm going to be, goodness, Jesus, I'm going to be Jesus. As I say, repeating the same joke, thank God I never got the job. Total failure. I saved to try to make money for Laura, which is what she wanted. Lost 4 children. I just surrendered them to the Great Beast. I had no choice. The Great Beast saved, the doctor just didn't save me. God, teasing me, in her infinite mercy, saved me in 1971, gave me a little house to live in. So I made a filthy, evil profit on it after 6 or 7 years, which gave me a deposit on this place, this beautiful 20 acres. So that's my third or fourth girlfriend, Donata Rain, made me the sandwiches and thermos. I built that first real house, the little hut, alongside the Easy Girl. And I lived there for, on and off, for when? I bought that in, I bought the property in 76, had the shed built. Well, I think it cost £1,000,
$1,000. He said, well, I got that out of selling the place down at Belvedere. That's where I got the place, the money for that. And Tom's cousins, Tom Stockhouse and Thomas across the road, the Trayers fatally married. His associates busted in, the builders. The builders were the only one that knew the shed was there. They busted in after about 4 weeks, busted the back door, which is now connected to the annex alongside the Easy Build. They busted that open. And they did the place over. And I'm still haunted by Tom's spiritual brethren. They're traitors, they're money worshippers. They are now disciples of the great leader, John Setka. He's a total monster. Have you seen the photograph of John Setka, the latest one?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, he's the great honourable leader of Tom Stockton. What's his bloody surname? I don't know that it's even his name. I went looking for people by that name to down the street where I called on his parents before at Aldgate, and nobody knew the name. You might even be using a false name. That might not, but that's all right. He's a crook, and he's a coward, and he's a money worshipper, and he thinks he's married to your sister. So I was saved by God for this. Yoga very, very quickly turned into a money-making bloody business too. And I got out of it around about, at the same time as I met your mother, and I was giving up on the yoga school. I don't know, your mother might remember. Your mother should remember moving out from 241 Street, which I was Fortune supported me in. I mean, I had the secret supporters in the government, in the government, in the state government of South Australia. We had the invisible patronage of Sir Mark Oliphant's wife. She rang up Dana Lorraine and said, you will have to guess who I am. I won't identify myself over the phone, but you might be able to guess. And I'd just like to tell you that we are keeping our eye on you. Favourably, of course. And they told me this. So that's the governor's wife. So you see, that Adelaide's very much a place like it. It's not what you know, it's who you know in Adelaide. And I mean, with friends like that, you know, they can be very valuable. Well, Sir Mark Oliphant was also the tutor of guess who? The coincident, Uncle bloody fucking France. Because France was such a bloody asshole at dud, apparently at maths, the same as I would be. Same genes. I mean, shared genes, but not the same genes. Hell, God help me. So Mark Oliphant was a senior student, and he was tutor to the Francie boy. at Lake Uni, while Frankie Boy was doing his engineering degree, and my father was getting even more egotistical, bloody fucking spoilt brat, but Prince Alfred College getting his BSc. And my darling mummy was going along to dances at the Adelaide University and a few courses or something like that. And she said, my darling mummy said to me that the girls amongst themselves called the course that they were doing, whatever it was, Matrimony 1. So she got Matrimony 1 all right. My father was supposed to be the manager. He inherited the job. No, the deputy manager. The manager. The owner of Premier Valence and Paint Company was Grandpa, because Grandpa killed himself establishing the place. The Premier Valence and Paint Company but it was a depression, the so-called economic depression, just natural justice working itself out. And so that went bust, and so he went bust. And because he was going bust, he tore up my mother's, because Hitler started the war, 1939. My father got drunk because he was an alcoholic, like your mother. I mean, I don't know whether she's convinced you that she's not an alcoholic. I mean to say, she has about 500 bottles that says completely free of alcohol or 1% alcohol, and then she's got 2 bottles. One is vodka, which is 40% alcohol. Who needs 50 bottles of showing alcohol when they've got 50 bottles showing totally containing zero alcohol, and they've got a backup bottle of vodka, 40% alcohol. I mean, who's the fucking hypocrite? Who's the deceiver? Me, little Ian. Little Ian, blame little Ian. Ian, I can't believe him. They never believe me. Well then, go to hell, rest of the world. Go to hell, because that's where you're being taken. Me, I just wasted my time, wasted my life. I wasn't going to win anyway. I mean, I didn't try to win anything. I just tried to be part of the human solution for the human problem. And I'm never going to give up. Even if I sell you lot up, even if we all move out of here and there, you'll get your 150,000 that you wouldn't know what to do with. Your mother will get an extra 150,000 to add up to 385,000 she's already got, which she worships. Freya will get 150,000. So to each of your kids, each of your little babies, will get 150,000 whether you like it or not. After the across the road sold. I will get my 150,000, which is Bill's gift to me in acknowledgement of me giving this place to your mother. Bill was a gentleman, and that's why he said to the lawyer, but the lawyer's never told me this, but I know that he said to the lawyer, as I've told the lawyer that I guess, I've anticipated, whatever your name is. What's the lawyer say? First name?
David.
David, that's right, yes. I said in my last letter to him, without prejudice, David, I think that Bill made a gentleman's agreement with you. There's no law against it. There's no compromise. Nobody's done anything illegal. But I think that he has just asked you, please, can you possibly, David, just as a gentleman's agreement, for which I'll give you 500, for which I'll give you $5,000 petrol money, or maybe it's $10,000. I mean, Bill had money to splash. He was going to leave the scene. He knew that. So whether it's 5,000 or 10,000 petrol money, nobody tells anybody else about this. Just keep an eye on Jenny for me. But you see, that was to keep an eye on Jenny's material welfare and the material welfare of your children. Bugger about your spirits. Lawyers don't. That's a job for the local minister, as bloody arsehole Minister for the Environment told the representatives of the Alternative Environment Centre, the Conservation Centre. They had to call themselves Conservation Centre because I'd already registered the name Environment. They had to call themselves their joint the Conservation Centre. They hated my guts because I registered the name Environment Centre. I got in first. Because that's my style, because I've got creative imagination, because I can do things if I don't have any opposition, and of course I don't have any opposition from anybody who's ignorant of what I'm trying to do I? Because they consider I'm trying to do something, but they misunderstand every fucking time. They misunderstand. Like your mother fatally misunderstood me as just being an egotistical hoarder and won you over to her vision because she can't see. My vision is one that I can't share with your mother or you. She's just used me as a convenience. I have loved her as a wife. I have loved you children as your natural father. It's because who I am. You have not seen it. I have not been the loser. I was not attached to my children. What you love, you are prepared to give up, to save it. So I'm handing you lot over to my protector who's never let me down, who is my mother, Mrs. Gwendoline Verley Wilcox. That's who God was for me. I'm handing you lot over to her spirit because I've lost the battle.
I'm reading it's probably lecturing, probably because he's fucking hungry. Let's just shut the kitchen window because it's cold. So fucking tired, how long have you been lecturing for? Fucking 2 hours. At least. Fuck's sake. Fucking maniac. Nut. Keep thinking of Boyzey. He's just lecturing me on top of this. Hell. keep imagining Boyzey as a little chick without feathers and big googly eyes. Grateful to be alive, trusting in the process, eating what he was given, sleeping where he was allowed. Spent all that time in the cage at the animal shelter. We picked him up, took him home. This is recording. Brought him home here. He was my friend for a couple of years, and then I fucking killed him. I can't say that I was his friend much because I was just procrastinating all the time, being depressed for no reason, and taking him for granted. He just wanted to live life passionately. He always wanted to go outside, and I rarely ever put him outside. I rarely ever bring him outside. I mean, his favourite thing to do is to go out and climb on the branches and chew on the bark, chew on tree bark, chew on everything, and put his head against everything. Put his forehead, up against things like this to feel connected to everything. He did it on my hand, with forehead on my hand. And real rip of that Bodak. Called him Bodak. Bodak. He never gave up. It was only when I stepped on him he was put down. Now I've got to process all this and fucking listen to him at the same time lecturing me for fucking hours and hours, venting about his own shit, about his own mistakes. Just shut the fuck up and live with it. Just shut the fuck up, at least you can do at this point, just be peaceful. For fuck's sake, maniac. Not done yet.
These assholes don't realise I'm wondering the phone people running the phones. I start again. I tried to make 2 emergency calls within the last few hours. One was a phone call to mother. I mean, it's like me casting pearl before swine. Trying to save your mother. She's acting like a tailed demon, like Satan herself. That's a real twist. I mean, it's brilliant evil. They're calling me an egoist. I've worked for 40 years to try to save your mother, and she turns out to be the complete demon. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. I've been weeping now for about 2 years on a daily basis because of your mother's inherent attitude towards me. And this is just another sign of things to come. I tried to make 2 emergency phone calls, one to your mother, one to you.
and both of them were stalled by this new system that they've got. I haven't encountered it before. It's to try to stop the Satanism is just running wild. It is accelerating. That's what people don't even see. It is accelerating so fast on a daily basis. There's no comment whatsoever. All the comment is about what all the people who think they've got the answers. We are going to have to do X, Y, Z policy in order to save the children. Yes. That is not. That's the government policy. That's the official. That's the policy of the.
This is hell.
I mean, I thought that
This is hell.
Ego money worshipper. I thought I invented that one, and now your mother's assumed it. Just like she has also assumed all the rest of what my life's work was doing. Basically, she has sabotaged everything that I've tried to do here, and her smashing up my workshop, the workshop, the wink, darling wink, that's what makes me so worried for his life, because I think his life is in danger, and I can't stop him being exterminated. And I don't want me to be proved right. Because all of the signs that I can see are piling up against everything I've ever tried to do. Everything I've ever tried to do. I'm losing the battle, and I don't have
You're losing the battle with yourself.
anyone who understands my point of view.
Losing the battle with yourself.
It's just that they learn the hard way, but by which I was too late. So, all alone, I must see how this Judgment Day works out. So you've got all have you ever heard the saying, I hope you're recording me. Are you, Oscar? Because if you're not, you should be. Are you there, Oscar? Or are you gone too? Have they got you totally 100% in their clutches? I can't save you. I haven't saved your mother. I can't save you. And I think we've all lost Wink. Because he was fated not to be with us anyway. Are you still there? Are you totally speechless as well as brainless, you genius? I'd like to give you a kick in the arse, but it'd be a waste of my energy. I can't even pray. It's going to be futile just to pray that you all get an awakening over the next 24 hours. But by which I just hope that I'm not dooming Wink. I'm fearing for his life now at the moment, because he's the only one who seemed to have not completely deserted me. He lovingly built me that little shed. It's ridiculously small for my purposes, of course, I mean, I've got sheds all over the bloody place, and I've been doomed. Your mother basically has worked against me ever since I brought her here, because she's a schizophrenic demon, and the demon has won out because the Satan is winning on a daily basis now. I try to phone you and your mother, and I'm prevented by this new system, which is apparently well-intentioned. Oh, look! I can't even think what I'm saying. I'm just absolutely devastated. I'm so upset. Have you ever heard the saying, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions"? You've heard it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's what we have. That's what we are seeing now, working out here.
Hmm.
Well, in everything. Very little
Leave me alone.
that was supposed to be our house.
God.
But it's not. If the Satan came in the door in another form, 21, in the form of that satanic female, supposed female figure, but organically, physiologically female. What a grotesque thought.
Stop fucking talking.
That bloody rose. You children, yes, you were down with Freya, down in the hands in her house for nearly 6 weeks, I think, was the period. That's the regulations. That's the minimum period of time that the government, that evil department, which should in more honestly be named the official South Australian Government Department for the Destruction of the Family. All with the best intentions, the newspaper article, the news, the Sunday Mail today is full of articles. They've got to do this, that or the other thing to protect the children. All the protection of the children is going to be counterproductive. It's all demonic. It'll stop the children learning what they need to learn. Unfortunately, human nature is of itself, being both demonic and divine. You've got the two aspects. Well, the former, the lower self, the false, the ego, the ego is the false self. I'm thinking of a million things to say to you. I can't think what to say first. The answers are in Patanjali, the Yoga Sutras, Book 2. The book 1 sets out the 5 aspects of the problem. Now, I like to put the first one as the
You just said this about 25 minutes ago.
Then the second one is
In the bathroom. Second lecture. This is the third.
is there another voice apart from me, or am I hearing demons? I'm just infuriated to the point of exhaustion. Ignorance, egoism, desire, aversion, attachment are the 5 pleasures. Pleasure is an obstacle to enlightenment.
which one never totally achieves anyway, because you just blow up. You just you just go poof. You just fizzle. So the nature of the human problem, Patanjali put it, it's 300 BC he wrote all this stuff. The different translations, most of them just don't quite get it. I mean, it's brilliant stuff. He was supposed to have been a grammarian, Patanjali. You would have taken a grammarian to have sorted out all of the subtleties of the teaching. So the 5 clashes or obstacles to human enlightenment are just what I've said there. Egoism. I put me egotistically. Okay, have it your way. Put egoism first. He puts the other way around. He puts ignorance first, then egoism, then desire, aversion, then attachment. Okay. Book 2. What you've got to overdo, I've made a prayer, a repetitive prayer. It's not a prayer. It's a what they call it, japa, repetitive meditation. To allow me to sleep every night. I've kept it a secret, but I'll tell you what the hell. I mean, you're still keeping something if you're talking to a wooden post anyway. So I'll tell you, you're pretty much like a wooden post at the moment. So thanks for being a wooden post for me, Oscar. And you can do what your mother does. Assume that I'm belittling you or insulting you or whatever the fuck you like, or whatever the fuck you will, or whatever the fuck you need to. The 3 keys to enlightenment. Now, you've got to say the Sanskrit in every case, because the translation is subject to, well, guess what, egoism. Now the first aspect, 3 points to enlightenment, or to overcome ignorance, egoism, etc. Tapas. Now but it's all written in code. Tapas. The different scholars, different interpreters will give you a different value, a word, a translation in English for the word tapas. Literally, it means energy. Now, if you think about it logically as you like, you cannot do anything without energy. Right. Tick it. To tick it. T-I-C-K, it. Tick it on the blackboard. Tapas. Okay, agreed? Everybody in the class agree? You can't do anything without energy? Yes. The second thing you need to overcome the obstacles. What is it? You've got to say the Sanskrit. The Sanskrit says swadhyaya. Excuse my pronunciation. Now, I think that's swa. I think swa is analogous linguistically to the Latin suus. It's got a certain similar ring. Suus means us, ours, own, one's own. Swa dhyaya. Dhyaya, excuse my pronunciation again, my Sanskrit. Dhyaya has to do with dhyana, which is meditation, deepest meditation, dhyana. I interpret it as what? Well, for the purpose, self-analysis, the most profound self-analysis. In my little invented mantra, my own private secret, which is still kept secret because I'm talking to a wooden case, without prejudice, without prejudice. It's my infinite sense of humour. I mean, laughing out from my own gravesite. I won't have one, but there you go. Dhyaya means meditation, mindfulness. So what have we got? Total self-analysis. Now I've transliterated that for my meditation as what have I invented? Adapted. Energy. You can't do anything without energy. You've got to have energy. Well, I can't think of the key word at the moment. I'm just so upset. This, everything here, that I thought that I've been devoting my time and energy, shopping, thinking about, worrying about you, worrying about your mother, worrying about when. The effort's all been in vain because it's been swallowed up, it's been cancelled out, wiped out, I'm beaten. I've only just been feeding Satan. I've only been looking after, I've only been loving Satan. I've only been loving vanity. I've only been loving my dreams of getting you to develop. Getting your mother. I've never lost hope for her, but it's useless. It's vain. It just ends up with her interpreting me as an egomaniac. With projection. Schizophrenics project themselves. So she's the perfect schizo case. I mean, it sounds abusive, but it's not. I've loved your mother, cared for her for 40 years in vain to produce you lot of fuel for the satanic fire. My little meditation is interpretation of chapter 2. Power. No, not energy. Power. Yeah. Well, you see, the ego is a power worshipper. That's you read today's bloody Sunday Mail. All of these people with the best of intentions paved to hell to look after the children, which is why we've got to protect people now over the phone. I couldn't even make these phone calls to Mother for years because I couldn't remember numbers. You see, I've always hated numbers. I've always hated arithmetic, and the purpose is Satanism. You try to fucking ring up anybody, and you've got to do numbers. I tried to make 2 phone calls, and I tried to enter all the numbers, and it's a security. You see, security. Shakespeare, brilliant man. He had a wife. We don't know whether he had any kids. Maybe he didn't have any kids. But Shakespeare, he lived anyway. The brilliant line, the brilliant all the way. He was a genius. Macbeth.
Act 2, Scene 5. I've tried to remember those numbers. And Hecate, the witch, on the moors, somewhere in Scotland, in as part of the story of Macbeth. Macbeth says to all the conspirators, the word "an" is an antique word in English, but it doesn't mean "and," but we can translate it as "and" for the purpose, same thing. And ye all know, says Hecate the witch, that security is mortal man's chiefest enemy. It's a saying that crops up to my mind almost daily now as people seek security. And the more they seek security, again they serve satanic egoistic purposes, all in the name of security. So now I can't even ring you or your mother in an emergency. Everything is an emergency now, increasingly. I only hope. Well, I don't expect you to see it too soon because you don't have any experience of the world, and your mother has isolated herself from the world, and as well as you. Wink hasn't. He's out there. He's sleeping with it now. This little meditation, I'll try to talk about 1,000 things at once. This little meditation says, that's right, power. You can't do anything without power. So, but power can be used for good or for evil. Well, any idiot should agree to that. So that's the first word. It's more than just a word. You've got to have ability. Power means 100 other things. But I've devised this little mantra for the purpose of me attaching my own meaning to it. Power, okay. Well, the next thing is power. What for? Power, and then swatyaya. Yeah. Power. I'm trying to think of my keyword, and I'm so upset I can't think of it. But it's something like mindfulness. You've got to have mindfulness. Mindfulness, I think, is also a Buddhist term. We would have done better to become a Buddhist. When I'm not here, your mother's going to turn Buddhist. She says, well, good luck to her, she needs to. The second element, mindfulness, I have another keyword. My words I can't think properly. I get power. Oh yeah, it's come to me. Mine still works.
How unfortunate.
Did I hear a man's voice then? What did it say? Purusha. That's a Sanskrit word. Purusha is the supreme God. That is the Sanskrit word Purusha it means the supreme. Well, that is my purpose. Every second of my life, every breath I take, Purusha, spirit,
But if you keep on saying spirit all the time, well, shit, you'd trip over yourself. But, oh, you must have said that. You've been reading Sanskrit. Well, thank God, you're on the right track. You've got a mantra is a word, is a symbolic word that means something to you. But if you said Purusha, you'd be thinking of it. It's got to be a bit more elaborated than that, because otherwise you trip over yourself. But if that's what works for you, well, okay, use that word, Purusha. If you keep on, you could use that as a repetitive term, Purusha, and then pause a few moments, Purusha, which is the supreme God. You're quite right. I forgot about that. You can't go wrong there. Yeah, it's like saying God, then pausing a few minutes. It's God, but if it becomes just more like a sound after a while. You've got to, but if that's meaningful to you, well then do that, follow that, and so that's what you might have to do. I think I heard you say that. but my meditation is chance is a bit more.
This is insane.
Well, anyway, it suits me. So power. Oh no! It's not power. It's powering. I've analysed the words, and powering. The word powering is a gerund in English terms. It's a doing word, because a doing word very often ends in ing. It means active. So if you're going to meditate on the word do, it becomes a bit ridiculous. No, it's got to be meaningful. So, okay, powering. What did I say? There's something. What did I say the next one was? Ending in ing. Powering. Well, whatever it is, it's a gerund word. It's a doing word, and it has to be. It corresponds with swadhyaya, mindfulness. Basically, it means mindfulness. Okay. Now the third word is of course the clincher, because in Patanjali the third one is the third aspect of the solution to egoism, which is symbolic of total error. The third word is Ishvara, which is that's the same as the Purusha. Anyway, in Patanjali says Ishvara.
It's going to take forever.
Ishvara Pranidhana. Literally, I think that pra means on behalf of or for the sake of, and I think that corresponds to the Latin word pro, which means for the sake of.
Hours to render.
So Ishvara Pranidhana is the ultimate solution to everything, because it means that everything you do is for the sake of God. Ishvara. Purusha it's not Ishvara is the word that Patanjali puts for God, the Lord of creation. So the meditation runs powering. Well, this is my own secret private meditation. Wooden post. One wooden post talking to another. That's how I understand the language. You see, it takes one to know one. Powering Minding? No, not minding. What did I say? Anyway, powering, mindfulness, remembering, everything to do with the mind. Remembering. You've got to try to sum up everything to do with the mind in the one word. And minding, okay. Have it as the second word is minding, powering, minding. That's the equivalent. And the third is not worshipping. That's it's the equivalent of Patanjali's doing everything for the sake of God. That's my own secret meditation, and that's how I stop my mind from churning around and suffering, my own ego torturing.
If God is
Because
yourself,
my ego
if you
torturing
worship
is me,
yourself,
thinking that I can solve other people's problems as well as my own.
if you worship yourself,
That's how my egoism works out.
everything is done for yourself.
Because I've dedicated myself. I can't
Self-worship.
imagine. I can't expect
Self-worship.
anyone else to understand why this should be my motive. Why I should work to be part of the total solution. Not the total solution. Why I should work totally. So the word totally qualifies the word work to be part of the human solution to the human problem. Well, if you've got
You
a
are the
problem,
human
there must be a
problem.
solution.
You are the
And
human
I've just
problem.
worked to be a part or a portion of that.
You work to be a part
Well,
of the human
the
problem
fact
because
that
you are the problem.
I've had no one else, known or not known to me, who's ever believed me or understood me, doesn't invalidate it at all. It just qualifies and explains the human situation, because that is the human situation. I don't expect any understanding from anybody else, but at least I'd hope that I'd earned it from my loved ones who've been my family. So I've never not loved any of my children, whether they're doomed or whoever or whatever they are. They're my children. They're my progeny.
Your children, your possession.
From both of these women, both of whom were money worshippers. I'd never even thought of your mother's being a money worshipper. That's what she's turned out to be. But she's not totally that at all, because she is the complete and total bloody fucking schizophrenic. So she's not even a total money worshipper. But that's just the way it's working out, because I'm my
Dear God.
own intensity
Oh my
of
God.
persistence has just brought that opposition in her out. But, well, a person, a philosopher can say, but every hero or would-be hero has got to have opposition. Well, he's got to have opposition only because he's going to bloody fucking get it, and he's going to be there anyway. So frankly, I don't fucking need opposition. Well, yes, I do need opposition, because when I get the opposition, it just proves to me that I'm on the right path. Now, did you know that there's no way that you can ring up an emergency phone call just as easy as that? I've got to go through these fucking numbers. Have you heard about this new measure? You've got to type in by hand the number that you've just fucking dialed. to prove that you're not fucking spam, or that you're not an AI or an automaton. Did you know about this, Oscar?
No.
Oh well, you will. You're in for some fun. So I tried to ring Jay's number. I couldn't remember Jay's number. She stole that from me. She's taken everything I've had. That was my fucking phone number. And I had a cousin, and you know, oh God. She's a fellow Scorpio. She's very sympathetic to me. She's Jenny. That's right. What? I was trying to remember her name. Oh shit! How can I remember that name? How can I forget that name? Jenny Hardy. She rang this number. But you see, your mother had stolen my fucking phone number. 0478271240. Well, I've written that on the back here because I couldn't. I don't have a head for numbers. Wink. I've written his phone number here, so now I have to write your phone number on the back, and I'll have to type it out every time. I've got to listen to this bloody gabble, this recorded gabble. It's not human, you see, and I'm stuck. I've got to deal with a bloody fucking machine. Here am I trying to make an emergency phone call, and I can remember all these numbers and type them in when they say so. You'll be good at it, because you tend to be a bit of an automaton, and you can remember numbers maybe better than I can. So you won't have the problems with that I've had. Because the bloody numbers again. Wink's number 0423 577 Wink's number. So I'll have to put it on back, then I'll have to remember 3 or 4 at a time, then type them in. Well, I tried to do that. I've tried to make 2 phone calls, one to your mother, one to you, and I have not been able to make them in the emergency. And this, every fucking day now, is an emergency. I said those very words to myself, I think about at least 12 months ago. I've said it several times. Every fucking day is now an emergency. Well, I can see it. Whereas all the dumbasses, the zombies, are falling into all the demonic traps, and they can't see it. I can see it, and I can't warn anyone. I've got to just witness them go to their doom, including my own family, or the family that was, or the family that I'd hoped for. So, okay, well, I don't even, I tried to discuss it with your mother. I couldn't even, she didn't even have the fucking patience to listen to me, ask or warn her about this. What's my secret chant again? Powering. Oh, dear me, I'm just wasting time, I think. I don't want to see you go to your doom. I don't want to hear that you've gone to your doom. I don't want to hear that my daughter, my first baby, now sometimes sleeps under bridges. But she does. We've told her that. I think I might have mentioned. I see her now and again, but I think, but I said to myself, I think you're probably safer under a fucking bridge than you are in your own bloody fucking home. And there was an article in the paper about the number of increasing people just sleeping under bridges. And they probably are. I mean, the houses have become little branches of Hades. Build a house, you build a little Hades. Well, that's why that arsehole mongrel, supposed partner of your sister across the road, is a fucking agent of Satan. He's an arsehole.
done yet, I reckon. Should come back in a second. 4 o'clock. What's the time? 4 o'clock he started. And it's 17 past 7. Still going. He'll be back. He's not fucking finished. Oh, I'm not feeding him enough shit. Fucking came in here, I was resting. Smashed the door as usual. Just gonna break it off its hinges at this point. Well, not the hinges, but he's gonna fucking smash he's gonna wreck the door anyway. He's gonna rip my mozzie net or whatever. Just a lunatic. Smashes that with the usual level of violence. Lectures me for about 50 minutes, I'd say, maybe almost an hour. Lectures me for another hour in the bathroom. Same shit. Charges back in here, lectures me again for another, what is it, 35, 40 minutes? 35 minutes? 30, 40 minutes. He'll be back in here. He's not done. You can feel it. You can feel he's not done. He needs to finish off the rest of the shit he needs to do. He needs to do his shit. He hasn't finished it off. He needs to snip it. He snipped it off, but there's still a bit left. You just watch. Fucking disgusting. It's just typical fucking behaviour. I just want to be in peace. Just want to have some peace. I'm already miserable, but Bodek. He wants to make my life more miserable by just talking endless shit. 1919, there's the time. Sunday, 19th of May. I'm just running out of battery here. Just been recording this shit endlessly. It's gonna take fucking hours to render.
Why is it that all of my life, all I've ever had in mind was to try to do the right thing? I mean, when you think about it, how fucking egomaniacally demonic could any human conceive of his being able to do the right thing? Capital R, capital T. All of his fucking stupid egomaniacal life. So if you can think of an answer or a smart reply, anything for a laugh, please let me know. Always sought to do the right fucking thing. And I've been picked on by all the fucking arsehole bullies in my life. The last of whom is your mother, whom I still love as my wife, but I don't owe her a fucking thing, and really, except to do the right thing. So, the right thing in my terms. I mean, she's tried, acted to wreck everything I've tried to do. And she says in her moments of total honesty, just outbursts of total honesty, I wasn't born to even be here and exist. And yet she comes to me, would you like to come and help me live in the house? Oh, right, yeah, sure, babe. If you can work out some genius answers to those, Mr. Genius, let me know, please.
Okay.
Okay, good. Leonardo was an idealist. He was a mechanical genius. I don't know that he left. He did write stuff. I'm sure he was able to write. Well, he must have been able to write to some degree. He was educated by the monks, given a routine minimal education, reading, writing, doing odd jobs. God knows how he got his mechanical knowledge, but well, he would have gotten it up to a utilitarian degree, such as would have served any slave of the state or of any lord or of the church. That you would have had to have some education by the monks. They had nothing else to do but educate slaves, which everybody was, which everybody still is today. So, but I don't. He didn't seem to write any literature that's quotable. And they've still got his designs for his submarine, for his aeroplane, for his all these bloody mechanical things, but nothing in terms of arriving at how to behave as a human being. I don't know, not that I know of. Maybe it's all been lost or hidden by the bloody monks. Well, he was an independent. He was just a lone ranger. He just thought, I'm an inventor. I'm a pretty smart bloke. He sought the patronage of noblemen, and he died in the arms of the King of France, which is how France owns the Mona Lisa. And possibly, well, I suppose they've got his body somewhere, but I've never heard of people in France. But I've never heard of. I mean, it was under the patronage of the king, so he'd have got a noble burial. But I don't know. I've never heard of them identifying where his body is, or what was done with him. Might look it up.
Still going. It's 8 o'clock. That's 12 past 8. I still haven't eaten my dinner. I've been lectured by him since 4 o'clock today, 4 p.m. I'm now recording this with my Android phone. In answer to his question, the answer is I've never known better, I never have, and I never will. How about that? He's always liked to say how he's always known better. Well, I don't.